What's going on, guys? Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Today, I want to talk about this interesting thing that's kind of going on with this war in the Middle East. Right now, Starbucks is really getting hit hard. Starbucks has just lost about $11 billion in market value because of boycotts that are related to its position on the situation in the Gaza Strip right now. I think that's really interesting. McDonald's is also losing billions of dollars as a result of this, billions in market value. And first off, I'm going to say this just as we get started, and as you hit the thumbs up button. I believe that this is a buying opportunity for Starbucks. I'm going to go take a look at the Starbucks stock, and I'm going to tell you why I think this is a buying opportunity. So give me 1 second here. Let me see where the stock price is. And I want to see where the boycott stands right now. Okay, it's gone down about 4% this month. Okay, so let me share my screen. And by the way, let me know if you can hear me. Give me a yes if you can hear me. Okay, let me know. Let's do a quick audio check. Quick yes, and also please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. All right, so if you look at Starbucks stock here that I'm putting on the screen, and those of you that are on Spotify, you can't see this, but I'll describe it to you. And also, don't forget to look for this podcast on Spotify. You see that Starbucks stock has been blood red for the last 5 days. If you look at the last month, it's been about 4% down. Last 6 months, it's down by about 3% year to date. So this has not been a good year for Starbucks stock, and it's down by about 11% over the last year. The last 5 years, though, it's gone up 45%. So if you owned it a long term, you made money. Shorter term, maybe not so much. The reason I think that this boycott right now is a money making opportunity for Starbucks stock is because I believe this too shall pass. I believe that Starbucks is a pretty well run company. It's not perfect, but I believe that this temporary reaction is going to have a short term impact. I don't think people are going to be mad at Starbucks for a super long time. I also think the same thing might be true for McDonald's. Now, what I'm going to do is share my screen here with McDonald's stock as well. So if you want to know if I think that if this is a profit alert, some of you are on the list to get the profit alerts. If you're not on the list to get profit alerts, text the word stock to 89748. Text stock. Do it right now. Text stock to 89748, and I'll send you a text when I find stocks that I want to buy shares of. So let's look at McDonald's right now. McDonald's stock is down by about 2%. The last 5 days, the last month, it's up just by about 1%. Last 6 months, though, it's down by 1%. So far this year, it's had a little bit of a dip. Now, remember, for companies with market caps that big, a $200 billion market cap, 1% is $2 billion. So if McDonald's drops by 2%, then that's about a $4 billion loss in economic value as a result of what's been going on. Now, why do I think these are good buying opportunities? Well, because I don't believe that these things last forever. I believe that people are mad at Starbucks, they're mad at McDonald's, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more why in a second, but I want to talk about you first in terms of why I think these are good companies to invest in. I think that these brands are essential. They're strong brands. They do a great job at what they do. McDonald's has been super innovative. I think that the ROI in the last 5 years of McDonald's has been about 58%. Not terrible, not bad. And I think it's just a good long-term investment. And so if you want to know why the boycotts are happening, apparently they kind of, you could say they did the wrong thing when it came to this war in the Middle East. I think in McDonald's, they had a franchise in Israel or in Jerusalem or something that was giving away free food to soldiers, to Israeli soldiers. That led people to go online and boycott McDonald's, right? Is that fair? I don't think it's fair just because this was one franchise, right? They have independent franchise operators. They can kind of do whatever they want, but maybe they have to be really clear with the franchisees about, sort of making a distinction between things that you do individually and things that you're doing on behalf of the company. So I honestly think McDonald's got a bad rap on this. And then with Starbucks, it was something interesting where I think that there was like a pro-Palestinian tweet, and the tweet got taken down because Starbucks was doing exactly what I think they should do, which is to not get involved. I'm going to tell you like this. I just don't believe, I believe in the culture wars and all this back and forth. I think institutions that want to maintain business need to focus on the business that they're in. I think Starbucks needs to focus on making a good cup of coffee. Like, look, we got coffee for the Palestinians. We got coffee for the Israelis. McDonald's, we can make you a cheeseburger, whether you're Palestinian, whether you're Israeli. Now, don't get me wrong. If you want to know my personal opinion, I personally think that this war is a bunch of BS. I didn't like the attack by by the initial attack. It made me feel very sad, but I think that there's been a disproportionate response. I don't like the fact that they're just bombing Gaza like that. Also don't like the fact that money is being given to this government on in my name, in our name, with our taxpayer dollars, money we ain't even got, money we can't afford. Our government deficit is $34 trillion, by the way. It's at a record high. They're using our money to fund wars that we don't agree with. That's a problem. This speaks to the dysfunction of the U.S. government. It speaks to the dysfunction of our society. If America falls in the next 50 to 100 years, this will be why, because you've just got these culture wars that are almost impossible to solve. Now, here's the thing. When I thought about Starbucks and McDonald's and what they're going through, I thought about some other boycotts that have occurred recently that have been very impactful due to the wildfire nature of social media. I thought about what happened. Give me a guess if you remember what happened to Target. Anybody remember what happened with Target when they did their little campaign for LGBT and they got their butts kicked? Their stock price got body slammed, hammered. It was real ugly. Anybody remember what happened to Disney? When Disney got involved in the culture wars, Disney started to kind of fight back with the governor of Florida, and it became a complete mess. They ended up, just really Disney in that particular moment, in that over that particular time period, went from being one of my favorite companies to being one of my least favorite companies. It's crazy. I was a big fan of Disney stock until Disney got involved in the culture wars, and then it got messy. Now I'm gonna show you what Target stock looks like. It's kind of crazy to watch stock companies go from being great investments to bad investments really quickly. If you look at Target over the last year, you see that Target stocks dropped by about 10%. Year to date, it's down about 1%. And so I feel that Target's still been hit by those culture wars. Now, if you look at Disney stock, and these are companies that are making insane amounts of money, companies that are supposed to be the best in the business at what they do, but they're embarrassing themselves right now because I don't think they're navigating the political waters very well. I think that they're doing things in a way that invites trouble, and so with Disney and Target, they violated that rule that says "go woke, go broke." And so you see Disney stock in the last year has gone down by 4%. The last 5 years, this is really alarming for Disney. They've lost almost 20% of their economic value in the last 5 years. And you compare that to companies like, say, Amazon. Look at Amazon for the last 5 years. Let me know. Can y'all see Amazon on here? I'm going to put Amazon for the last 5 years. Amazon's created 77% ROI for their investors over the last 5 years. Amazon, and if you notice, Amazon's not in the middle of the culture wars. Amazon's not out here trying to fight for Israelis, Palestinians, gay, straight, conservative. They're trying to just do what they do, right? Look at Microsoft the last 5 years. Look at their ROI. What's that? 257%. This is money being made in broad daylight, by the way, Black people. This is where the money resides. Right? We talk about building wealth. Well, this is where your wealth is at. This is your money. If you were a consistent investor in Microsoft and spent as much money on buying Microsoft stock as you might have spent on your car note the last 5 years, you'd be very rich because this investment more than 2x in the last 5 years. What's another one? Let's look at another one. Nvidia is a real superstar. Let's look at Nvidia the last year. Nvidia the last year, I believe it's probably double, about 214% in the last year, because they're leading on AI. If you're an investor in Nvidia for the last 5 years, which I have been, actually, my wife and I own a lot of shares in Nvidia, it's gone up 1,219%. So there is money being made out here. The money's everywhere. And my conclusion is that in the middle of the culture wars, if I'm a CEO of one of these companies, I ain't seen nothing. I ain't getting involved in none of that. Seriously, what I do as a private citizen is very different from what I do as the head of a major corporation. And it's a double-edged sword, though. I think that McDonald's and Starbucks got a bad rap. They didn't make the same mistakes that Budweiser did with that whole trans guy. They did the whole ad there. They didn't make the mistake Budweiser did. They didn't make the mistake Target did. They didn't make the mistake that Disney did. They didn't even do anything wrong. I think that Starbucks took down the Palestinian tweet because they didn't want to get involved, but because they took the tweet down, people expect them to. They're mad because they feel like, okay, you're a big corporation, you should speak out against injustice. And I hear that, I completely get that, but I completely understand why they would say, look, we're gonna sell coffee, man. That's what we do. We're not trying to pick a side. And so anyway, long story short, I think these culture wars create a really problematic landscape that these corporations have to navigate. The smart ones will survive. The dumb ones are going to fail. And but again, if you want my 2 cents on investing in Starbucks and McDonald's, I think that they're good buys right now, mainly because these are solid companies that do really good business, that know how to make money, and their stock prices have dipped a little bit. Also, I believe there's going to be a buying opportunity in early 2024. You might see a little bit of a dip, and also there is a belief that a recession is on its way. It's got to happen. There's got to be a recession because the economy has been so strong. When things are going up, eventually things have to come down. That's just the nature of things. So don't freak out, don't panic. But that's what I'm seeing right now. Okay. So by the way, if you want to get access to, we have a Black Wealth Master Plan that any family can use that will build generational wealth in less than, really in a decade. Really, if you give it 2 decades, it really does really well. So if you're not sure what to do, if you're not sure how to get started in our $5 a day plan, things like that, it's totally free. Go to blackwealthmasterplan.com and you can take a look right now and get started on your wealth building journey. Don't be afraid of the stock market. My whole PhD was in the stock market. I wrote my whole dissertation on stock market investing, so I can help you. I'd love to support you in that. Also, we're doing financial consciousness training every single morning at 10 a.m. So if you'd like to join the club, you can actually get access to all the recordings and all the materials for life, all the slides, everything else, to share it with your family. You can go to drboyceelevate.com. The total fee is about $299, but if you hit that link, you can actually get it, I think, for about half of that price. So we took the price down quite a bit. It's about 60% off to maybe it's $129 or something like that. So feel free to go to drboyceelevate.com. All the material is yours. It's yours for life, and you get to join us for those morning sessions. And we're going to be meeting for 30 straight days at 10 a.m. Eastern. We are on day 6. So anyway, if you want to elevate your economic consciousness, evolve your money mindset, change the way you think about money, feel free to go to drboyceelevate.com. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great night. Thank you so much for listening. I don't have much else to say. Don't forget this podcast is on Spotify, and I will see you all soon. So take care now. Bye-bye.